Ah, now the first place I met with me darling is in taking a walk by the strand. Her apron is full of good oysters, got an odious big one in her hand. Oh, and the one she took up of her pocket, she thrust it right into my hand. Her 2 eyes did shine like 2 diamonds, by which I took her to be the queen of this land. Oh, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Ah, now come on in, my clever young girls, and a warning you'll come take by me. Beware of those flashing young girls, they'll treat you to every degree. They'll treat it as strong Roman brandy until you're unable to stand. Oh, and before you're awake in the morning, you're convicted to Van Diemen's Land. And in a neat little village in Belfast, a village where I were bound. Whatever misfortune came over me, well, it banished me far from that town. Far away from me friends and relations, and far from my own native land. I been 7 long years was transported, but look to the black velvet band. Now spread the green branches over whilst I am young. So well I like my love, sweetly she sang. Was there ever a man in a happy state as me with me Flora, Flora so fair? Well, I'll go to me Flora, this I will say. Tomorrow we'll be married in once but one day. One day, said Flora, day is to come, to be married so early, me age is too young. Well, we'll go into service, to service we'll get. Perhaps in a few years, substance and breed. Oh, now don't go to service, leaving me here to cry. Oh yes, lovely shepherd, I'll leave you by and by. Well, they got her to service she went. To wait on a lady was her intent. Well, to wait on a lady, and a rich lady gay, who clothed fair Flora, Flora so fair. And a little while after, a letter he wrote, 3 or 4 lines in it to know her intent. Well, she wrote that she lived such a contented life, she never would consent to be a poor shepherd's wife. Well, these words and expressions pierce like a dart. I'll pluck up me spirits, cheer up my heart, seeing that Flora will ne'er write no more. Her answers convince me quite over and all. Well, me ewes and me lambs, I bid them adieu. Burdens and baggage, I'll leave them with you. Well, me sheep, crook and black dog, I'll leave them behind. Since Flora, fair Flora, has sore changed her mind. Oh, now spread the green branches over whilst I am young.
was invited to Nobleman's wedding. She was a dame that proved so unkind, and now that she upon a losses, for my true lover walks in a mind. Supper being over, all things being ended, bridegroom and bride stood among the nobles all, and scarcely the words of the marriage vow were spoken, for my true lover walks in the hall. How can you lie on another man's pillow? You said that you'd be true for so long, and now you have left me to wear the green willow, quite broken hearted for your sake alone. Here is the ring, like your vows it is broken. Here is the ring, I cast it back again. You gave it to me as a true lover's token. Now it no longer with me shall remain. The bride being seated at the head of the table, every word was spoke, she marked it full well. To bear it no longer she was quite unable, down to the bridegroom's feet she did fall. Here is one request that I will ask for, this being the first and only one to be, that this I and night I will lie with me mammy, ever, ever after beside thee. In asking this request, while he grunted to her fairly, sighing and sobbing, she went into her bed. But early, so early, the very next morning, rose and they found that the bride was dead. Once I was invited to a nobleman's wedding. She was a dame that proved so unkind, and now that she's married, she thinks upon her losses, for my true lover walks in her mind. Now as I walk down by the seaside, all for to take my leisure, well, a little sailor I espied, and I loved him without measure. He'd a jacket blue and trousers too, I loved him without measure. So see, my dear, if you'll prove true, then I never will deceive you. Now when 3 long years were past and gone, poor girl, how she kept weeping. Well, to think her sailor was untrue, and his promise was not keeping. As she walked down by the seaside, well, she happened to discover a ship lie broached off Portsmouth beach, aye, and on it was her lover. Well, he quickly anchored all on shore, with his great store of riches. She went to meet him on the plain, and he gave her sweetly kisses. Says he, my dear and turtle dove, since you have proved so constant, well, to church we'll go, aye, and married be, and we'll say no more about it. Then hand in hand to church they went, aye, and married were next morning. Now he lives at home with his Polly dear, no more to cross the ocean.
My mind been sore inclined for to cross the raging main. I left my tearful parents in sorrow, grief and pain. On board the Fame I then became, like all passengers to be, along with Captain Thompson, to the land of liberty. As we were safely sailing to the place called Newfoundland, the wind it rose ahead of us, which brought us to a stand. All hands aloft, bold Thompson cries, "Oh, we'll be cast away. All quickly stand, or we ne'er shall land in the north of America." A mount of ice came moving near our gallant main, but the Lord of mercy, he was kind, and our lives he did maintain. Our gallant sailors turned about and so our lives did save, or we were doomed to be entombed in a doleful watery grave. When we were fairly landed, our faint hearts did renew. But how can I sleep easy, my errand far from you? I know the day will surely come when our comrades all will see, and once more we'll live together in peace and unity. My mind been sore inclined for to cross the raging main. I left my tearful parents in sorrow, grief and pain. On board the Fame I then became, like all passengers to be, along with Captain Thompson, to the land of liberty. It was on one Whitsun Wednesday, 14th day of May, when we untied our anchor, so we sailed away, where the sun do shine glorious. To Lisbon we were bound, where the hills and dales were dainted, all with pretty maidens all around. There I beheld a pretty fair maid, all in a bloom of years, making much lamentation. Her eyes were filled with tears. Fare thee well, my best time lover, to thee it is well known. So marry me, oh William, aye, and leave me not alone. Oh no, me dearest Polly, do not go with I, where the soldiers they lie bleeding. It is a dismal sight, where the fifes and drums are beaten to hide the dismal cries. So stay at home, Polly, aye, and do not go with I. Pray do not talk of danger, love is my desire, and in the field of battle, where you spend your time, I travel far through France and Spain, all for to be your bride. So marry me, oh William, and I'd lay down by your side. And if I should meet a pretty fair maid, proper, tall and gay, and if I should lay a fancy on her, Polly, what would you say? Would you not be offended? Oh no, me lover true, I'd stand aside, oh William, while she goes along with you. It was on one Whitsun Wednesday. 'Twas over yon wild beating track, while a friend of the bold Bonaparte did pace the sands and lofty peaks of St. Helena's shore. The wind blew in a hurricane, the lightning flash around it dart. The seagulls were shrieking and the waves all round it roar. Ah, hush, rude winds, this stranger cried, while I do range this dreary spot, where alas this bold hero his heavy eyes did close. But while his valiant limbs do rot, his name shall never be forgot. This grand conversation on Napoleon arose. Ah, England, this stranger cried, why did you persecute that hero bold? Much better had you slain him on the plains of Waterloo. Napoleon was a friend to heroes all, both young and old. He caused the money for to fly wherever he did go. Plans were arranging night and day this bold commander to betray. He says, I will to Moscow, then it will ease my woes. If fortune shine without delay, well, the whole world shall me obey. This grand conversation on Napoleon arose. Thousands of thousands then did rise, oh, to conquer Moscow by surprise. He led his men across the Alps, oppressed by frost and snow. But being near the Russian land, well, he then began to open up his eyes. All Moscow was ablazing, and his men drove to and fro. Napoleon dauntless viewed the flames, aye, and wept in anguish for the same. He said, "Retreat, my gallant men, for time do swiftly go. What thousands died on that retreat, some were the horses forced to eat." This grand conversation on Napoleon arose. At Waterloo his men they fought, commanded by bold Bonaparte, attended by Field Marshal Ney, and he was bribed with gold. When Blucher led the Prussians in, well, it nearly broke Napoleon's heart. He cried, "My 30,000 men are slain and I am sold." He viewed the plains and cried, "'Tis lost." It's then his valiant charger crossed. The plains were in confusion, with dead and dying wars. Well, the bunch of roses did advance, aye, and boldly entered into France. This grand conversation on Napoleon arose. For Britain's long expected good news from her fleet, commanded by Lord Nelson, the French for to meet. Till at length the news came over, through the country was spread. The French were defeated, but Lord Nelson, he was dead. Not only Lord Nelson, but thousands were dead, gone with the French to the Watery bed, to fight for this poor country's honour and wealth. They fought with the French, and they fought them unto death. For this victory, a valiant and good, a monument for Nelson and brave Collingwood. Let it be of the finest marble to honour their fame. The say of Lord Nelson, he died in England's name. Soldiers and sailors many brave deeds have done, in fighting the foe many battles have won. Well, if the Nile could but speak, or Trafalgar declare, that say there was none with Lord Nelson could compare. Britain's long expected. 'tis of an old miser in London did dwell, had a one and only fine daughter that a sailor loved well. Soon as the old man he was out of the way, she's along with her sailor boy by night and by day. Oh, and when that her father, well, he heard of this news, down to some sea captain he immediately goes, saying, Captain, noble captain, good news I have to tell. I have got a young sailor boy, it's a transport to sell. And what will you give me? The old miser, he says, I'll give you 7 guineas, I'll take him straight away. Well, I will take him, I will send him far over the main, and he never will return to court her again. And when that the lady she heard of this news, down to that same captain she immediately goes, saying, Captain, noble captain, bad news I have to tell. You have taken my sailor boy, the lad I love so well. Put a hand in a pocket, pull out handfuls of gold, down on that main table 1,000 she's throwed, saying, Captain, noble captain, I will give you much more if you'll give me my sailor boy, the lad I do adore. It's no, says the captain, no such a thing. Well, I have taken your fond lover, send and far o'er the main. Well, I have taken your fond lover, send and far o'er the main, and he never will return to court you again. Cursed be me father, cursed be he, for knowing me own heart, he's quite ruined me. Well, I will go unto me little cot and I'll lay myself down. Oh, and all through this long night for William I'll mourn. Of a London city, yeah, you lost me way. It was by Cheapside that I chanced to stray, when there on the corner of the street a pretty little lassie I did meet. I was up to the rigs of London town, those lovely girls of London town. She took me to some house of fame, the sign of the ship in Water Lane. Loudly for supper she did call, thinking that I would pay for it all. I was up to the rigs of London town, those lovely girls of London town. The supper over, the table cleared, she called me a hinny and a dear. She ordered wine both white and red, the chambermaid to prepare the bed. I was up to the rigs of London town, those lovely girls of London town. Between the hours of 1 and 2, she asked me if to bed I'd go. Immediately I gave consent, so off to the bedroom then we went. I was up to the rigs of London town, those lovely girls of London town. The sporting over, she fell asleep, then out of bed I did creep. I searched her pockets and there I found me silver snuff box and £10. I was up to the rigs of London town, those lovely girls of London town. So come all you young lads, wherever you be, if you meet with a lass then yous are free. But if ever you should ever let slip me name for wine at the Shape in Water Lane, I was up to the rigs of London town, those lovely girls of London town. Now Harry courted brisk young Mary, Mary was buxom, gay and airy. Now Harry was countrified as can be, his manners were rough, his wits were muddy. When Harry first beheld his love, the sweetest of words he then did move her. Well, for to be coy was but a folly, let us be wed, what says your Molly? Well, Molly replied with smiles like Venus, but there's still something there between us. Now where are your cups of china, metal, canister, milk, pot stand and kettle? Well, I've got kits, sauce, bowls and dishes, enough to supply me wants and wishes. Well, a 3-footed pot and a good brass kettle, Molly, what mean you buy china metal? Well, I've got cows to milk and fodder, full of goods, one kind or other. I'll thresh in my barn and you'll sit a spin, and Molly, I think it's a good beginning. Well, I will not rise to wash your linen, nor will I sit at thy wheel spinning. I'll lie in my bed till it's 11, says Harry O'Grant, may patience kind heaven. Well, I've got kits, sauce, bowls and dishes, enough to supply me wants and wishes. So I'll go to Marjorie, way down in the valley, make her me wife, so fare thee well, Molly. When Molly she saw her love was losing, sweets to words she then did move him. Well, I did deny you, only to try you, turn your way back, I'll never deny you. In Newry Town where I was bred and born, St. Stephen's Green where I died in scorn, I served my time at the saddler's trade, and I always was a roving blade. At 17 I took a wife, I loved her dear as I loved my life. And to maintain a fine and gay, a robin went on the king's highway. I never robbed no poor man yet, nor any tradesman caused I to fret. I robbed both lords and ladies gay, and returned home on the king's highway. To Covent Garden I made my way, with my blooming wife to view a play, where Fielding's gang did me pursue, taken I was by that cursed crew. My father cried, I am undone, my mother wept for her darling son. My wife, she tore her golden hair, what shall I do, I'm in deep despair. And when I'm dead and in my grave, a costly funeral let me have. 6 highwaymen to carry me, give them broadswords and sweet liberty. Oh, 6 pretty fair maids to bear my pall, give them white gloves and ribbons all. And when I'm dead, to speak the truth, he was a wild and a wicked youth. Newry Town there lived an old farmer who had 2 sons and a daughter dear. By day and night they were contriving for to fill the sister's heart with fear. Then one brother said unto the other, see how a sister does sport and play with that young serving man a lover. We'll send him silent to his grave. A match of hunting it was prepared, through woods and valleys where briars grow, and there they did this young man murder, and in the brake his body throw. When they returned all from their hunting, she asked them for her servant man. I ask because I've seen you whisper, so tell me brothers if ye can. Oh sister, sister, you do offend me, and why do you so examine me? We left him in the fields of hunting, and no more of him did see. So straight to bed went this fair young woman, lamenting for her servant man. She dreamt she saw his body lying, and unto her these words he said, now rise you early the very next day's morning, and early, early to that break go, and there you'll find my body lying, covered all in gore and blood. Well, she rose early the very next day's morning, and early, early to that break go, and there she found his body lying, covered all in gore and blood. She took a kerchief all out of her pocket, and wiped his eyes though he was blind. She often kissed him, sometimes crying, "He lies the dearest friend of mine." Well, a curse upon my own two dear brothers, for ending your sweet life so soon. One grave alone shall hold our bodies, and unto death with thee I'll lie. It is of a fair young creature that dwelt by the seaside, with lovely form and features. She was a village pride. There was a young sea captain, Mary's heart did gain. And it's true she was to William, and it's true she was to William, as he raged all on the main. It was in William's absence a nobleman there came, a courting pretty Mary, but she refused the same. You court in vain, for on the main there's one I love, she cried. You must be gone, I love but one. You must be gone, I love but one, and he is on the tide. Then mad with desperation, this nobleman did say, to prove the separation, I'll take a life away. I'll watch a night and morning, when alone he cried, I'll send a body floating, I will send a body floating to him who's on the tide. This nobleman was walking alone to take the air. Down by the rolling ocean he met with Mary fair. Then spoke this heartless villain, consent to be my bride, or sink or swim far from him, or sink or swim far from him who is upon the tide. With trembling limbs said Mary, me vows a neck can break, for the love of my sweet William, I'd die for his sweet sake. With his handkerchief he bound her, plunged her o'er the side, and lamenting for her William, aye, and screaming for her William, she slid beneath the tide. It happened Mary's true love soon after came from sea, expecting to be happy, to name the wedding day. We fear your love, she is killed, her raging parents cried, for she brought her own destruction. Yes, she brought her own destruction beneath the silvery tide. That night upon his pillow, young William took no rest. Well, the thought of his sweet Mary so disturbed his breast. He dreamt that he was walking down by the ocean side, and a body he saw floating, and a body he saw floating, helpless in the tide. With fright aroused at midnight, into the gloom went he. He wandered sandbanks over, down by the raging sea. At daybreak in the morning, young Mary's corpse he spied. As to and fro it was rolling, as to and fro it was rolling, helpless in the tide. He knew it was poor Mary by the one ring on her hand. He unbound the silken handkerchief, it brought him to a stand. For the name of her base murderer in full thereon he spied, which proved to ended Mary, which proved to ended Mary beneath the silvery tide. This nobleman was taken, the gallows was his doom, for and pretty Mary had scarce achieved a bloom. Young William, so dejected, wandered till he died, and his last words were poor Mary, and his last words were poor Mary, who died neath the silvery tide. Of all the girls in our town, the dark, the fair, red, the brown, who dance and prance it up and down, there's none like Nancy Dawson. Her easy manner, form so sweet, foots it, trips it down the street. Her every movement is so sweet, I love me Nancy Dawson. See how she comes to bring surprise, joy and pleasure in her eyes. To prove delight she always tries, there's none like Nancy Dawson. Her cheeks the very rose and bloom, a breath like pine trees newly hewn, each movement like a pleasant tune, I love me Nancy Dawson. Well, for her kings would lose their crown, to see our angels would stoop down. She's worth the ransom of the town, is me darling Nancy Dawson. In Bedlam I might find a cell, all me fellow madmen tell, how thousands in the folly fell, bewitched by Nancy Dawson. Of all the girls in our town, the dark, the fair, red, the brown, who dance and prance it up and down, there's none like Nancy Dawson. Oh, now, father, dearest father, I fear you done me harm. You've married me a boy, and I fear he is too young. Oh, daughter dear, come and stay at home with me, and a lady you shall be while it's growing. I'll buy me love a hat, the finest in the town. I'll make her look so proud, I will march her up and down. Besides, I'll buy you ribbon to tie up in your hair, just to let the ladies know that you've married. Now as I was passing by the high castle wall, I seen a pretty gentleman a-playing at the ball. Says he, where's your true love, the finest of them all? Your bonny lad is young, but he's growing. It's T do stand for Thomas, I do know. It's J-O-N stands for John. And it's W to stand for Sweet William boy. But me Johnny, he's a handsomest man. Now so early in the morning, at the dawning of the day, they went to the fields to find some sport and play. And what they did there, well, she never did declare, but she never more complained about his growing. At the age of 16 he was a married man. At the age of 17 a father to a son. At the age of 18 he was dead and in the ground. That soon put an end to his growing. Now the grass do look green and the trees are all in bloom. The time is long since past that you and I have seen. For once he had a true love, but now I've neither one. So fare thee well, me own true love, forever. Of a comely young maiden fair was walking out for to take the air. She met a sailor all on her way, so paid attention, to hear what they might say. Said William, lady, why walk alone? The evening's over, the day's near done. She cried as tears from her eyes did fall. It's me dark-eyed sailor, 'tis me dark-eyed sailor that has caused my downfall. It's 6 long years since he left this land. A golden ring I took from me hand. We broke that token, his harp's with me, and the others rolling, and the others rolling at the bottom of the sea. I wish my father would build me a boat that on the ocean I may afloat, and every ship that do pass by, I will enquire, oh, I will enquire for me own dear sailor boy. Said William, drive him from off your mind, another sailor will prove kind. Love turns aside, as it's cold you'll grow, like a winter's morning, like a winter's morning, when the ground is covered with snow. With his coal black eyes and his curly hair, his pleasant tongue did me heart ensnare. Gentle he was, not a rake like you, to entice a maiden, to entice a maiden, to slide the jacket blue. And half the ring did young William show, she seemed distracted twixt grief and woe. You're welcome, Billy, I have land and gold, for me dark-eyed sailor, for me dark-eyed sailor, so manly, true and bold. So Cannily, Cannily, hush bonny Bennicky, now then divn't ye cry me young pet. Now you shouldn't be greeting your daddy is sleeping, it's not time to waken him yet. Now soon he'll be gone to the shed for his engine, soon he'll be driving his train through the night. I working for pennies for you, me young treasure, so wished you crying hinny, now your daddy sleeps light. So Cannily, Cannily, hush bonny Bennicky, Now then divn't ye cry me young pet. Now you shouldn't be greeting your daddy is sleeping. It's not time to waken him yet. Now when thou art grown thou shalt have thine own engine, the biggest that ever was seen on the line. I and all our neighbours will point to me Johnny. I know he's the best engine driver in town. So Cannily, Cannily, hush bonny Bennicky. Now then divn't ye cry me young pet. Now you shouldn't be greeting your daddy is sleeping. It's not time to waken him yet. Now soon he'll be gone to the shed for his engine. Soon he'll be driving his train through the night. I working for pennies for you, me young treasure. So wished ye crying hinny, now your daddy sleeps light. So Cannily, Cannily, hush bonny Bennicky. Now then divn't ye cry me young pet. Now you shouldn't be greeting your daddy is sleeping. It's not time to waken him yet.